Quilters love color, but very few will say they are confident with how to use color in their quilts. Jinny believes that every quilter can use color effectively, and so you don't need to take a formal color theory class in order to do so. She hasn't, but she's learned a few things over the years, which she'll share with you today. Many quilters start with a fabric or a picture that they love. This is one of Jinny's border prints from the Jinny Beyer Border 2008 collection. Here are the 5 main colors in the border print: a beige, yellow, a green, a brown, and a pink. Jinny matched the colors in the border print fabric with her portable palette, a swatch book of 150 fabrics she designed for RJR Fabrics. Here is a quilt top made from those 5 fabrics, plus the border print. It's pretty, but there's something missing. Here's the same quilt pattern. What a difference! When they're side by side, you can really see the difference. The second quilt uses a lot more than 5 fabrics. Jinny used her portable palette to shade through the 5 fabrics in the original quilt. These are the 5 original fabrics. By shading, you end up with additional fabrics in the same color family as the originals, and those are the fabrics that Jinny used in this quilt. Jinny's first quilt was made in India with hand-stamped and hand-dyed fabrics. This meant there was a lot of variation in color and value, even within a single piece of fabric. And she discovered that the same fabric dyed the next week would be a little bit different again. Without ever trying, her red and blue grandmother's flower garden quilt ended up with lots of different reds and lots of different blues. Some were brighter, some were duller. It made for a very interesting quilt, and it taught her 2 important lessons. Lesson number 1, avoid using matching fabrics. And lesson number 2, use lots of different fabrics. But that said, Jinny stresses that it doesn't mean you have to forget about using an inspirational fabric or that every quilt has to have dozens of fabrics in it. Here's the first quilt again with the 5 matching colors. And here it is again, also made with just 5 fabrics. The second quilt is much more appealing. What's the secret? Simple, a process of elimination. Jinny started with the full palette of shaded fabrics, and she eliminated the 5 fabrics that match the border print exactly. If they're already in the quilt and the number of fabrics need to be limited, they're the first to go. Then she eliminated other fabrics until she was down to 5. Jinny finds that it's easiest to start by choosing ones that you'll definitely save. Your first step is to select a deep, dark fabric to keep. Look at the little star. Then choose a brighter accent color to keep. Again, check out the star. Last, eliminate similar colors until you are left with your desired number of fabrics. Let's take a look at how the 2 palettes compare. The bottom swatches are the original colors, and the top are the colors selected from the expanded palette. It's got a deep, dark fabric and a bright accent. In fact, because the palette colors we've chosen aren't exact matches with the border print, the quilt actually has more colors in it. Jinny believes that one of the biggest obstacles to incorporating color into quilts is that we don't see all the colors that are in the things that inspire us. For instance, we don't usually notice neutral colors, yet they are the duller fabrics that let the other colors sing. Here's Jinny's Mayflowers quilt as an example. The patches of taupe and gray are necessary. Without them, the palette would be overpowering. And just for fun, this is the photo that inspired the quilt's color scheme. Jinny likes to use this example. In this photo of a red-footed booby, we see the rich greens and red and the bright blue. When we look at a pixelated version of the picture, the grays in those blues, reds, and greens are obvious. Without them, those feet wouldn't stand out nearly so much. It works the same way with fabric too. Here's the border print fabric we started with. Let's take a look at the palette of colors that are in this fabric. You could easily use this palette as a starting point, but remember Jenny's rule. Number 1, you don't want to match the colors in your inspiration. Use them as a jumping off point. Pick one and go brighter. Pick one and go darker. As long as you shade through your colors and incorporate some neutrals, it will look terrific. Every day, Jinny uses her portable palette in designing quilts and picking coordinating fabrics. She believes that quilters, just like painters, need to have a wide palette of colors to work with. So her quilter's palette of 150 fabrics is available year in and year out. There are also some great tools on the web too to help you with color choices. We tried out one automatic palette generator on Jinny's border print. And this is what it came up with. Not bad. It added shades and found a lot of neutrals to work with too. The Colors Palette Generator can be seen at cssdrive.com and just click on Tools. That's the one we use, but there are lots of similar tools out there. Do a search for Automated Color Palette. And of course, you'll still have to find the fabrics to match. But no matter what kind of tool you use, remember Jinny's color secrets. Use a deep, dark color, use a bright accent color, and be sure to include neutrals in your palette. Use as many fabrics as you can manage. And as long as they shade together, Jinny promises you that they'll work. To learn more about Jinny's color shading system, for details and special savings on her portable palette, or to sign up for her free email newsletter full of tips, tricks, and freebies, visit www.jinnybeyer.com/T Q S 3.